When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love. So the title of my talk this evening is Breaking Down the Wall. Breaking Down the Wall. And our theme this month is love only. And I've already talked about with Nancy how that can be so challenging. Love only, to just love, that's all, just love. I'm just going to love no matter what's going on anywhere. I'm just going to love. That can be challenging. One of the reasons why it can be so challenging is because we build up these walls. And we put them in place in order to save us, to protect us. This whole song, To Make You Feel My Love, when I hear these lyrics, of course the first thing I think of is Kevin. And anyone who's in a relationship or has been in love knows what that feels like. I hear the lyric, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years, and I instantly think of our 29-year marriage, how I have felt loved. And how many of you have ever felt loved in your whole life? We all have. We know what that feels like to feel love. The reason why we know what it feels like is not because someone has brought it to us, it's because it's what we are. The walls we put up in order to protect ourselves from not feeling that. The irony of that is just bizarre to me. We put these walls up to protect ourselves, but we're protecting ourselves from feeling what we really are, who we really are. Because when I really hear this song, once I get past the romantic notion of it and my soul journey with my soul partner, I recognize that this song could be being sung by God. And I like the word God. I like the word God. I grew up Catholic. I was a good little Catholic boy. I went right through Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, Catholic college. I was going to go right on to becoming a priest until I found out a few things. And then I decided I wouldn't be able to do that. Although I would have made a great priest, except for that other thing. But I'd have made a great priest because I loved God. I had an amazing relationship with God. My relationship with God was so intact. I only saw God as a loving God. I could only feel God as a loving God. I kind of knew something was off with this whole God thing, but I didn't blame God because of it. I blamed you. I blamed people for getting it wrong. And as I grew in this teaching, I realized it's not my relationship with God, it's my relationship as God. And there is something inside of me that is saying to me, I will hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. There is something inside of you just begging for you to let it love you, but not only love you, to let it flow through you as the love it is. The reason why you feel love, the reason why you accept love when you do, it's because you are in touch with it. You understand it. It's what you are. It's just a relationship thing. You get it. You feel it because you are it. It's not something separate from you. So as I said, the title of my talk is Breaking Down the Wall. So I want to ask you, what walls have you built up that keep you from experiencing you? What are the walls that stand in the way from you being, and I don't want to say your authentic self, because I think that word's getting way overused. Don't you think? My authenticity. What is that? So what is standing in the way of you being your real self? The you before the wall, before you put up the walls. Now, let me ask you this. First of all, I would love for you all tonight as I'm talking to give this some thought. What walls are standing in the way of your life? What walls are standing in the way of your happiness, your joy? What walls are standing in the way of your success, your finances? That's all it is. It's all based on consciousness. So somewhere along the line, your conscious mind has put up some wall. It could be from fear. It could be from anger. It could be from what he or she did to you. It could be from the family you grew up in. There are many ways to build walls. The thing I'd like us to look at today is, how can we knock them down? If we're going to live love only, there can be no place for a wall. If you find yourself in life constantly on the other side of an argument, if you find yourself being a victim in any way, shape, or form, the only thing going on is you have a wall in place that's not allowing the love to come out of you, that's not allowing the love to come into you. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. To make you feel my love. Can anyone ever make you feel something? No. No one can make you feel anything. You can choose to feel it. When you feel something, it's not because Barbara Doust has made you feel it. It's because there's something in Barbara Doust, that relationship between Barbara Doust and me, something in me is equal to something in her. It's the oneness, it's the true thing that we are, our love, and now I relate to it. She hasn't made me do a thing. It's just the innate truth of life. So here, I have something for you. I'd like to tell you a joke. Ready? After the christening of his baby brother in church, Jason sobbed all the way home in the back seat of the car. His father asked him 3 times what was wrong. Finally, the boy replied, "That preacher said he wanted us brought up in a Christian home, and I want to stay with you." Did I make you laugh? Or is there something in you that recognizes that? Is there something in you that relates to that? Let's try it again. A mother was preparing pancakes for her sons, Kevin, 5, and Ryan, 3. The boys began to argue over who would get the first pancake. Their mother saw the opportunity for a moral lesson. She said to them, "If Jesus were sitting here, he would say, 'Let my brother have the first pancake. I can wait.'" Jason turned to his younger brother and he said, "Ryan, you be Jesus." Did I make you laugh? Or is there just something, or do you have a brother named Ryan? Or is there something in you that relates to this? I can't make you laugh, but I can tap into something in you that is very equal to who I am. Becky, tell them to call you back. Okay, I'm going to try it again. You ready? A father was at the beach with his children when the 4-year-old son ran up to him, grabbed his hand, and led him to the shore where a seagull was dead on the sand. "Daddy, what happened to him?" the son asked. "He died and he went to heaven," the dad replied. The boy thought for a moment, and then he said, "Did God throw him back down?" Did I make a couple of you laugh? Or is there some morbid side of you that gets that joke? One more. A wife invited some people to dinner. At the table, she turned to their 6-year-old daughter and said, "Would you like to say the blessing?" "I wouldn't know what to say," the girl replied. "Just say what you hear Mommy say," the wife answered. The daughter bowed her head and said, "Lord, why on earth did I invite all these people to dinner?" That's my favorite one. So, did I make you laugh? No, I don't make you laugh. You resonate with something. Nothing can make you do anything. You are always at choice. So this idea of making you feel my love, it's not the truth. There is inside of you this infinite wellspring of love. It's who you are. It's what I am. It's what we all are. But we've put blocks in the way. We have built up walls to stop being touched. stop being affected. We put up a wall because something has happened. We build walls as we go through our lives. And yet, when we came into the world, I would say we probably didn't have any walls. Anybody who's raised a child knows that these children in their early years, there are no walls. There's nothing but just pure, untethered love and energy. Even our dogs, our puppies. We have 2 new puppies. They're a year old now. This first year has been such a learning experience for us. I say that I have one dog who's a special needs dog. But what I'm realizing is he is just this huge 95-pound galloping thing of love. That's all he does. He just is like, ah, and he just runs into you and knocks you down. And when I get into bed at night, he jumps on the bed and doesn't sweetly lay next to me. He jumps on the bed and falls on me. Just falls on top of me, literally on top of me. And I have to try to move him, but as I move one part of the body, the other one comes. This is really what's going on in life. And I got to be honest, I had walls around this dog. Didn't I, Kevin? I did. I was like, he's too much for me. It's just too much love all at once. But I think we do that. This is too much for me. So I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to protect myself against that. I'm going to protect myself against this. I'm going to protect myself against what has happened in the past. So tonight's a great time for you to ask yourself, what walls do I have? What walls have come up in me? Where am I at this point in my life? What walls are stopping me from moving through? What walls are stopping me from realizing my greatest desires? I know you haven't made your mind up yet. And I love what Jamie does when he sings this, what he does when he sings this, because he sings, I know you haven't made your mind up, beat, 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 yet. Because here's the truth. There is something in you that's already made up its mind, because your mind is already made up. It's made from that up, from the unlimited pure potential of life. So your mind is made up, you just haven't stepped into it yet. Because you come here with a mind that's already made from the upper echelons of love. So maybe, just maybe, you haven't decided to step into it yet. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. Just listen to these lyrics. I don't know if it touches you the same way it touches me, but just the idea that there's something in me, and I do call it God, that says, James, I know you haven't really made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. Don't be afraid. Make up your mind. Step into your power. Step into the bigger you. Step into a life that you deserve. And you only deserve it because it's your birthright. It's who you are. You don't have to do anything to deserve it. Just step into it. That's who you are. That's who each one of us is. I've known it from the moment that we met. There's no doubt in my mind where you belong. Yesterday we got a picture. Our friends, very close friends, the Davises, just became grandparents for the first time. And right after the baby was born, they sent us a picture of this baby. And I don't know how many of you have ever been in a birthing room or seen a baby hours or moments after. I was in there with Will and Nora, and when they came out, my whole world changed. It was changing up to the point they came out, but in a way that was a little scary. But the moment they came out, I saw perfection, and I got it. But I also got that's what I was. Oh my God, that's how I started out. Every one of you started out that way. There was no other entrance here except through that entrance. It's not exactly what I meant, but you know what I meant. I meant that entrance onto this plane of action, right? There's no other way in. And you come in this beautiful, beautiful way. And these lyrics, there's no doubt in my mind where that baby belongs. In a world that loves it, embraces it, gives it everything there is for it to grow into the most amazing, joyful, loving, beautiful individual soul. But that's each one of us. We have that opportunity. All we have to do, it's really this simple. All we have to do is break down those walls. But in order to break down those walls, we have to identify those walls. What are they? What are your walls? What is it? What is it that you have to make up your mind about? Is it your career? Is it your relationships? Is it your finances? Is it your health? What do you need to make up your mind about? It is that simple. If you are having health issues, there's a wall in place. So the last year and a half, I think it was 2 years ago, when I went to my doctor, my heart doctor, and I sat down and she said, "Are you having a rough day or something because your blood pressure's through the roof?" And I said, "In fact, I'm having a lovely day, so that must be an issue I have to look at." And she said, "Yeah, it's really high, so I'm going to have to put you on some blood pressure medication." And I said, "Absolutely not. I don't do that. I know that blood pressure medicine bloats you, and I'm just way too egotistical for that to happen." I said, "So we're not taking any bloating medication because I can't go to the gym that much." So I said, "I'll handle it." And she was like, "Yeah, this is really high." I said, "I'll handle it." So I handled it. A year later, it was fine. But then I went back for another checkup, and she goes, "It's a little high again." And I started to pay attention. I was like, "Really?" And I thought, why would it be high right now? So I started to really pay attention when my blood pressure was high. And every now and then, if you ever see me in Ralph's, you'll usually see me at the blood pressure stand. I usually, on my way in, just stick the arm in and go, "How are we doing today?" And I just did this 2 days ago, and it was 120/80. I was like, and that's how it works. But what I finally understood is, every time my blood pressure spikes, I get to identify another wall. Because that blood pressure only spikes when I'm responding to or in relationship to some wall. Something that I have put up that is not allowing the flow of love to pour through me. All disease of any kind is some kind of a congestion when it comes to love. Because the thing that can heal anything is love. Love heals. That's the truth. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Rock my soul. If I can just stay on this side of love only, my body follows suit. So, the storms are raging on the rolling sea and on the highway of regret. The winds of change are throwing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. So this month of Love Only, I've had my challenges. There have been moments when I have not loved only. And this week alone, there were some instances this week where I was extraordinarily challenged in ways that I have not been challenged before. And I could feel myself wanting to be pulled over, like Nancy said, over to the issues, to the relative facts of things that were going on. And I literally had to physically pull my mind back to center. But that line, "You ain't seen nothing like me yet," that's the universe talking to you, saying, if you could break down every wall that you've built up, if you could get rid of everything in your life that is stopping you from allowing this energy that you are to just be unbridled and free, then you would be that thing that you ain't seen yet. And I get it. It is time for me, just me. I'm just talking about me now. It is time for me to see who I really am. As a minister, as a writer, as all the things that I love to do. Because I hear that line and I think, you know what? The world hasn't seen me yet. I've shown a part of me. I've shown some of me. And I'm going to know that about every single one of you. You've shown some of yourselves. But we can't show all of ourselves until we knock down every friggin' wall that we have built up to protect ourselves. To be as vulnerable as we can be, to be as open and honest as we can be, to be as fearless as we can be, and to stop living with all of these restrictions on our lives. When you say that, "You ain't seen nothing like me yet," that's God in me saying, "James, you have not even seen who you can be yet. I know you think you're pretty great a lot of the time, but you ain't even begun to see what you're capable of." There's something inside of you that just keeps pressing up against you, trying to get you to understand that. Sometimes it's disease, sometimes it's lack, sometimes it's a career that falls apart or a relationship that falls apart. It doesn't matter what it is. But whatever it is, it's literally there, so it's smacking up against you saying, you haven't even begun to realize who you are. Don't fret about losing that. That was nothing. This is who you are. But very often, we spend time with the nothing that's been holding us back instead of the something that we are. And I was driving to Westlake this morning. I leave very early to get there, although Barbara wishes I left a little earlier, so I was a little more on time. But I left fairly early today, and as I was driving, this issue that was coming up this week for me was in my head. And I was thinking to myself, why am I thinking about this? When y'all woke up this morning, did you see how gorgeous the day was? It was a magnificent day. So I immediately opened my moon roofs. I have double moon roof now. I opened it up, I put my windows down, and I just said, I can either pay attention to this, or I can keep thinking about that little niggly thing that, by the way, is already resolved, because that's what I believe. Make up your mind. And the only way the world is going to see something in me that I haven't even begun to see yet is if I really get hold of my mind, really take charge of my mind, and know what is mine to think, what is mine to know, what is mine to do. I could make you happy. I could make your dreams come true. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. I would go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love. So if there is something inside of me saying, I can make you happy, I can make all of your dreams come true, I would go to the ends of the earth for you. And then if we want to forget about the word make, all that we have to do is feel my love. Feel my love, because I'm a choice. Feel the love even in that situation. Feel the love even here. Feel the love when I look back and see all of that created the walls, or that I think created the walls. I put them there. We're a choice. We are a choice in our lives to break down the walls. And every time you find one, it's your responsibility to drop it. Really drop it. If you find yourself in some form of mental discord, it is a wall that you are facing. Drop it. So that's what I want to ask you to do this week, for the rest of this month, for the rest of your lives. Stay awake. Rumi says, now that you are awake, don't go back to sleep. I think we go back to sleep too often. The problem is, once we wake up and you're all awake, because you're here and you're hearing this. So somehow you put yourself in these chairs tonight for some reason to hear this about the walls, right? Don't go back to sleep. Because even when you go back to sleep, you can pretend you're asleep, but what you already know is going to create nightmares while you're sleeping. So you can pretend you're asleep, but you're not. So don't go back to sleep. Know what you know. Identify these walls. Find out where they are. Why is there discord in my life? Why don't I have the money I need to live an amazingly opulent life? And when I say opulent, I mean you should have so much money that you don't know what to do with it, then you'll know exactly what to do with it, and then you pour it back into the world to do good. That's who we should be. We should not be people worried about our bills. That is so disrespectful to who we are. That's who we can be. That's who we are, and it's who we can be. And let's stop waiting for something to make us feel its love. Let's just break the walls down and be willing to let the love show up. So as you go through this week, I really invite you, find out what's standing in your way. Find out what those walls are. Name them. Absolutely name them. And then get out a jackhammer and break it down. And decide. Make up your mind. Because truly, truly, I say to you, there is a love inside of you. There is a passion inside of you. There is a dream inside of you. There is the true you inside of you that is just waiting for you to say, yes, I will take it up. I will take up your charge to live a bigger life. I will take up the charge to live my true calling. I will take up the charge to literally allow the passion that rages through me an outlet. I will be the outlet. Use me, and allow me to live at the biggest level I could ever live at. That's what this is calling us to say. That's what it's asking us to know. And I say, we know it, so now let's live it. Namaste.